Alright everybody, here we go. I'm super stoked about this. Today I am riding for the very first time a 2017 Yamaha FZ-09. I'm super stoked. I went in and traded this. I traded my 2018 SV650 for this bike, and I'm super stoked about this, and I want to talk about it and talk about how I got it and what the trade-in was like and everything like that. But this bike is so sick. I'm gonna let it warm up real quick while we talk about it. Still kind of quiet with stock exhaust, but I can't tell you how stoked I am about this. So I got this bike, I sat on it, rode around in the parking lot. I've not even driven this thing on the street yet, so this video is going to literally be my raw first impressions of a bike I got that I really haven't even ridden, if you think about it, and see how I like it and see how it compares. To give you a little bit of a background on motorcycles for me, I started out on some R6s for my first bikes, and I've ridden the R1, ridden a Harley, and had my SV650. So obviously I'm not used to the power this bike has, so I'm interested to see how I handle it. So I'm going to kind of take it easy, and I just know that I need to kind of get used to the weight and the power of this thing before I really get into it. This thing is all stock, so as you can tell, it's kind of quiet. Still got the rear fender, big mirrors, and I'll make another video talking about what I want to change about the bike, but I just want to make this first initial video and take my first ride. So y'all are going on my first ride on this bike ever, so I'm really stoked about this. So let me get out on the street and get the thing started, because I can't wait. Alright, so here we go. 2017 FZ-09. I can already tell you the first thing that I can notice about this bike, it is way lighter than my SV650. And when you're talking about bikes and weight, like 50 pounds can be way lighter. Like 50 pounds to 100 pounds, it's substantial difference when it comes to bikes. So that's one thing. The seating positions, although the SV650 and the FZ-09 are similar in the seating position, this one feels a little bit different. It kind of feels, it sits more upright than I expected for a bike with this power. I will say that. It kind of is, yeah, it's just a little bit different. I expected maybe just a little bit more lean into it, but that doesn't bother me. I can tell you right now, I need to adjust the clutch lever. The clutch lever has just gotten a little bit, I don't know, there's a little bit of play in the clutch lever, but that can be easily adjusted. I already had to adjust the brake lever because it was so far out, so I'm glad that they at least made an adjustable brake lever. These huge mirrors annoy the crap out of me. That's one thing I really don't like, is big mirrors on bikes. The clutch is pretty light. I'm used to kind of the heaviness of a V-twin, so I just got to remember my background. I've been riding the SV650 for the past 8 months. I'm used to the power and weight of the SV, so everything's a little different. I like sitting upright more than I like sitting like in a sport bike position. So the upright position doesn't bother me. I'm just having to get used to. It's just subtle little differences in the actual position I'm sitting in. So it's kind of throwing me off a little bit. The exhaust is quiet, but you can actually still hear it. That's something I like. And I'm sorry I'm jumping around to different topics. I kind of want to just like cover all my first impressions in one quick video, or as much as I can. The clutch is really light. I do like that. Yeah, it's like it's like driving a it's like putting a turbo on what I'm used to riding. So I have to really roll onto this easy. It seems to handle decently well. I will say the SV650 that I had, those bikes handle pretty damn good. So yeah, it's just a little bit like I said, just subtle little differences in the seating position. And let's see if I, like, you can lean into this thing, but it just feels, I don't know, maybe the wheelbase is a little bit shorter on this bike. I'm not really sure. I'd be interested to see, but it kind of feels that way. What up, dog? But yeah, I mean, I love the way the tank is shaped, and the almost like the canted gauge cluster. I really enjoy that. That's pretty awesome. That's something that when I was watching videos on these bikes, I was like, man, OCD people have to hate this bike, but I absolutely love the canted off to the right gauge cluster. It gives it a really unique feel that you don't get from any other bike. It's almost like all business and less of all this extra stuff. I will say, I don't know who the hell designed the blinkers on this bike, but holy shit, they're huge. I cannot believe how big the blinkers are on this bike, and they gotta go. You know, they don't fit the profile of the bike. They're fat, they're ugly, they gotta go. This thing has a rear fender on it, or like fender tag thing that on it. I hate it. That'll go too. Those are the first things that'll go, is just the cosmetic things. I'll talk about the exhaust in a minute because so many people put exhaust on this thing. But first, I got a straightaway here, and we're gonna get on it and see what happens. The throttle was super responsive. That sounds good. That sounds really good. This thing's got 1,500 miles on it, so obviously I got it used. Come on. Alright, here we go. This is my first time accelerating on this bike. The engine braking is pretty dramatic compared to my last bike. And it revs up really fast. As you can see, I was not prepared for that. It just revs up so much faster. And I'm looking down from my mirror. I'm used to barring mirrors. I'm looking down, and they're up here, so that's annoying. Yeah, the engine braking is interesting on this thing. It's pretty aggressive, I will say. I'm not used to it being quite that aggressive. So that's something you kind of have to get used to. As soon as you let off that throttle, this thing is diving. I will say the first thing I immediately noticed, and something I'll probably have to get for this bike, is a stabilizer. This thing got a little bit shaky. But it sounds good, I will say that. It's just a little bit different than I was expecting. Just some people like them, some people don't. I do like the bike, I really do. Here, I'll downshift once I get over this hill and I can see that there's no cops coming. It's really windy today too, so I'm having to just be careful. This is a 4th gear roll-on. Wow. It is substantially faster than a 650, I gotta say. Holy crap. Yeah, it's fast. It's fast, holy crap. But the throttle is so, like, you're on, off, and it's like drops the front tire. That's something I don't know if I particularly like, but I can definitely get used to. I'm in 5th gear too. I wasn't even in 6th gear. Yeah, this thing has the pep that everybody talks about, and the torque. It does not accelerate. With my experience with the R6s and R1s, it does not accelerate like a sport bike. So if you're going in with the expectation that this thing is like a sport bike, it is definitely not, and that's something you have to be prepared for. It's like, it doesn't accelerate like a sport bike. It's different. You got a lot more torque, and it's the revs don't go as high. It's not a top speed bike, you know. If it's a top speed bike, they would have put fairings on it and everything. You have to remember, this is a naked bike. I will say, On like a practical note, and I'm sorry if it's windy, on a practical note, this thing is really good on insurance, oddly enough. Insurance likes this bike. I'm gonna turn around here, use my blinkers, my fat ass ugly dang blinkers that nobody likes, and we're gonna hit the brakes a little bit, see how those are. Yeah, they grab. I didn't expect the brakes to be bad on this thing though. Alright, slow roll it there, Buick. Alright, let's try this again. That front wheel definitely wants to come off the ground. Yeah, that's I'm not even all the way in the throttle, like it's still going. I have not found the peak of the throttle and where I'm actually maxed out. It is really smooth, and I can see that these have a quick shifter you can install that Yamaha makes factory. I can see where the quick shifter would be beneficial because you hardly need the clutch to shift now, so I can imagine that the quick shifter makes it even easier. I don't really know if the quick shifter is necessary, to be honest, because I can shift without the clutch for gears above like gear 3. Like, you really don't need it, even above gear 2 sometimes. So I don't know. It's not bad. It's not bad, I'll say that. I'm gonna go down some back roads here, see if we can get some corners in. These mirrors don't even work for me. Like, they're not wide enough. Like, I don't see the point of them. I'm just a hater on big mirrors. Just let me be a hater. The road's still a little slick because of the rain, but most of it's dried. Yeah, you can shift without the clutch. I mean, yeah, I can't get over the engine braking and how dramatic it is. You let off and you're just on, off. It almost like lurches you pretty good. Like, the acceleration lurches you backwards and the engine braking lurches you forward. So it's a weird dynamic. I think you just have to get used to the way the throttle and the clutch and the release works on this thing. If you don't do that, it's just going to be really weird. I would say overall though, I'm not trying to hate on the bike, I'm just trying to give everybody kind of some first impressions. This is the factory bike. I haven't really done anything to it. Overall, I would say for a factory bike, it rides good. It really does. It is an adjustment and takes some getting used to. The power's not unmanageable, I will say. Like, some people are like, oh, you hit the throttle too hard, in third and fourth gear the wheel will come up. I'm not seeing that being the case. It's not, I think it's not quite as powerful as people made it out to be. Now, first and second gear, even third gear, I think I could, like, if I was intentionally trying to do a wheelie, I think I could actually lift it up. I'm not one to do wheelies. I'm not good at them, so I'm not really here to like review like, oh, let me do wheelies down the street. That's not what I'm doing. It's got a really throaty engine sound that I actually like. The stock exhaust is loud, not obnoxious, and you can hear the throatiness and the torquiness of the engine. Like, I like that about this bike. That is just an incredible like sound to just bring the experience of the bike. That's why people like these bikes, that torquey, throaty sound, the power that it presents to you down low. That's the hype that I remember people talking about on this bike. It's not the top speed, it's not, you know, these little things here and there, but good gracious, like, I really, like, that's what's making me hesitate to change the exhaust to something obnoxiously loud. I think I would be missing out on the experience of that. Like, wow, I can't express to you how good that sounds, really. Y'all probably get a little wind noise, but that's just incredible. I love it. I will say, I've watched some YouTube videos on modifying the stock muffler. I know how the internals work on it, and that might be something I'll change. Oh, yeah, you can pop the front wheel up like nothing in first and second gear. I did a little mini wheelie there. Yeah, that was pretty good. Pretty good. I just can't get over the mirrors and the blinkers. Good great. I just oh, I'm sorry. It just gets me all worked up, you know. Look at this. Oh, it's not very good. Those have to be changed for sure. Overall, as far as the performance goes on this bike, I want to get used to riding it first before I get rid of the exhaust or even modify the exhaust if that's what I decide to do, and just enjoy the way this bike rides. This bike has a very aggressive look to it. You sit comfortably. The seat's not even that bad. Like, I haven't ridden it for a long period of time, but the seat is actually pretty comfortable. I thought it was going to be worse. Excuse me. I thought it was going to be worse just by feeling it, like while I was in the garage, but no, it's actually not bad at all. I thoroughly enjoy the comfort of this bike. The suspension is not bad. The weight of the bike is agile. What's up, man? Hey, that guy's cool. I really have no complaints on this. I think what I'm gonna do now is just film just a little raw driving footage. I can't go too crazy with the slightly wet roads, and that might come the next day after I get this first impressions video out. Overall, I would say this bike met my expectations, but I think that the bike was slightly overhyped. I will say that. I'm not disappointed. Like, I love this bike so far, but I will say that I think maybe that people overhype this bike. It is sick. It's got plenty of power. It's definitely more power than I'm used to, so I'm just gonna have to just be careful. But overall, it didn't disappoint either. I just want to put that out there. The bike did not disappoint me whatsoever. I'm very excited to ride this bike. I'm very excited to mod this bike and make future videos with it. I can't get over one of the things that really attracted me, besides the sound when I was watching videos, just the way the tank is shaped and that dash. I just want to point that out again, as if just like that view right there, just nice. But yeah, overall, not disappointed. Definitely not. I wanted to give my first impressions because I didn't know what to think. I've been waiting several days just watching this sit in my garage, and I'm like, man, the weather's bad. I'm working like crazy, but I finally got the opportunity to get this thing out and ride. So I hope y'all enjoyed this first impressions video. I hope this is helpful to anybody maybe wanting to get an FZ or an MT-09, as they're now called MT-09s. Great step up from maybe the 600 game, 650 game, or even 750 game. Can't say enough about it. So even the stock exhaust has a little popping and backfiring. It just, based on the way that muffler's made, it just really quiets it down. So the sound is not bad. Okay, I'm gonna stop making comments on it. I hope y'all enjoy this video. Leave a comment on what you think about this bike as well. It's one of the kind of most recent like naked bikes that have been getting a lot of attention in the last few years. Let me know what you think. Is this bike overhyped? Do you enjoy this bike? Is this a bike that you want? And did you find this video helpful at all? Thank y'all for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, make a comment, let me know what you think, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.